welcome to today's immigration tidbit. So it used to be crystal clear when there were immigration laws, it was enforced by the federal government. It's called the Supremacy Clause. If there's a federal law, it overrides the state law, period. And the state cannot enforce or make their own independent laws contrary to the federal laws. So, of course, we're talking about immigration laws here, and naturally, we're talking mostly about Texas. And in years past, if Texas tried to do what it's doing now, enforcing its own immigration laws, basically taking immigration into its own hands and not letting the federal government do it, it would have been struck down in 5 minutes. But it's a different world today, and decisions are coming out that just, I don't know what other word to use, but bedoggle the mind as to how it could arrive at what it arrives at, knowing the Constitution and the constitutionality of the Supremacy Clause. I mean, just think about how the path of this will go. It will cause just absolute chaos if, states decide to override or to not follow the federal laws regarding, whatever it happens to be. I mean, it could be immigration, obviously. It could also be tax. It could be the EPA. Okay. There's a plethora of federal laws that need to be followed. Otherwise, the country will have difficulty enforcing or using those particular laws, hence the reason for the Supremacy Clause. So for the most part, immigration laws are enforced federally and are allowed for people who are coming in on different kinds of visas. It's all federal law. What kind of visas they qualify for, what kind of relief in immigration court they may qualify for, the whole procedures of immigration court, the appeals to the BIA, to BAUCA, to, appealing USCIS rules and rules and so forth, to the AAO. I know I'm using a lot of acronyms here, a lot of initials, but they're all appellate agencies within the federal government under the auspices of immigration, okay? The Administrative Appeals Unit, the Board of Immigration Appeals, the Board of Alien Labor Certification Appeals, all of that. So there's all procedures into place. And not only does it help to know that you need to follow federal law, it helps the person applying. If somebody is denied something, obviously all the procedures are in place and where to appeal, how to appeal. And then, of course, the attorneys make the various arguments. If, states come in and start making their own, for example, appellate procedures for denied applications, or start, violating due process rights and not even allowing appeals, things like that come into play when court rulings allow states to start taking up federal laws on their own and creating their own laws. Just as a side, Texas, when they put those buoys up to prevent people from crossing the Rio Grande River, that, of course, was a violation of immigration law. That by itself has been ordered to be taken down. But the fact they tried doing that, there were several people who died as a result of that. Okay. Now, if, obviously, if someone's crossing the Rio Grande and they're trying to get to the U.S. and they have a valid asylum claim, they should be allowed to apply for it, not to have a state interfere with that application in the manner that is currently being done. Okay, so there's a little brief overview of federal and state powers, the Supremacy Clause, and where the law currently stands on that. Okay.